YouTubers, Mike Martins here, Mike Martins channel. I got a really good article I want to share you guys from Richmond News. Caught my eye today, and Richmond is a town, city, whatever you want to call it, south of Vancouver. Basically, it's mainly Chinese. It's about, I think, 89 or 90% Chinese living there, and this article comes out of there, and it's a really good article because it touches on what I've been talking about forever. How youth, young families, where are they going to go? Where are they going to settle? How are they going to lay roots? This just goes back into what I've been saying forever. Housing, young families caught up in housing crisis. For Watt's family, the only option was to leave Richmond. Carly and Jeff Watts, both born and raised in Richmond, are on the move. By every definition, they fit into the Vancouver Board of Trade recently described as the missing middle. Okay, missing middle. In Vancouver's affordability housing crisis, middle income earners who don't qualify for subsidized housing because they make too much money, but don't have enough money to buy adequate family-friendly housing, which is also missing in the region. And that's a big problem. And this goes back to all the stories I did with the Vancouver brain drain, where all these professionals are leaving the city and moving east. Carly, 33, in childcare worker. Jeff, 35, a chiropractor. Their little squirt, Rowan, is 6 months old. They're being shunted from their long-term rental house as their landlord and personal friend now requires the home. Enter an intense 6-month house hunt for these undecided voters. It turned out that when we started looking to buy, we could not afford anywhere near what we need. We needed a minimum a townhome to accommodate our growing family, but couldn't find anything in Richmond, so we started to look elsewhere, Cloverdale, Langley. It turned out all the open houses we were going to were full of young families like us from Vancouver, from Richmond, being pushed out that way. It was super intimidating, said Carly. What followed was string of bidding wars for roughly 5-year-old townhouses in the range of 1,100 to 1,500 square feet. Gone were those days of negotiations. Our realtor was at a loss, she explained. That hurts. But back in the day, you would bid and you would lower, you would counter the offer, and you would go back and forth. And yeah, people watching this 5 years in the future, and younger people getting older and looking to buy their homes, and this video is out there somewhere. People used to actually lower their offers. People would be asking for 200 for a house, 200,000. You'd go back and say 185, then they'd say 189, and then that's how it was. But now it's the complete opposite. One townhouse had 11 offers. Eventually, they ended up paying tens of thousands of dollars over the asking price for a 2-bedroom townhouse in Cloverdale, and used provincial government's first-time home buyers loan, the BC Home Partnership Program, interest-free for 5 years, for half their down payment. I made another video about this last year, so if you want to fill in on what's going on with that, I have it there in my housing crisis segment. While generally pleased with their new place, it's not ideal, Carly, and they'll likely have to move again within 5 years. The couple initially looked at rental options, but there were none. We'd be more worried if we had to rent. A place like this is probably $2,200 or more. That's more than a mortgage, said Jeff. Carly also didn't like the volatility of renting in the market. It's not stable, she said. Another big problem Carly identified was the fact that the bids were coming in without subjects or inspection. Yeah, that's how desperate it's getting. People are allowed to buy without inspection. I hope that's something that changes. It's worrisome, said Carly. Now that they are newly minted homeowners, they're asked by the Richmond News how the government should address housing. Should it enact regulations to cool demand, or should it free market general prevail? Curly leans towards more regulations, while Jeff is only certain one thing: more supply needs to be built, considering the few options that were available. But then you go back to the 30,000 empty homes that put the spin on things, right? That you got a huge spin on things, right? Then you got the elections on the horizon here. This is the Green Party: increase subsidized housing, double foreign buyers tax, increase based grants, progressive transfer tax. And that's a very good platform. NDP, increasing supply, money laundering task force, and speculators tax, build co-op housing, $400 renters rebate. Nice. Liberal Party, increase supply, expand home credits, first-time home buyer loan. And that's the platform for each party intends to do with the housing. So it goes back to this article basically touches on everything I've been talking about in the last couple of years. And it's very important. Now the youth needs to restructure. And go back one video on my housing crisis, I talk about the youth basically restructuring and reconnecting in my city of Merritt. I moved to Merritt because I wanted a lot of land, and I wanted to live like in a nice quiet cul-de-sac. I still wanted that kind of feel of living like, on an avenue, and I didn't want to live on a farm. So I did that. Watch my Living the Dream series, and you will see what I'm talking about. And question, who are you guys voting for? Who would you vote for? It doesn't matter if you're not from Canada, or it doesn't matter. I just want to know what platform of these makes sense to you guys. I would love to know what platform makes sense to you guys, because there needs to be changes. Free market, they can't have free market. Remember that I made like 6 videos on free market, discussing free market and how a lot of countries you go in to buy, they'll kick you out and tell you to get lost. Like when I went to Mexico, there's 2 different situations, 2 different states I wanted to buy in, 2 different years. So it's 2 different situations. I wanted to buy in Mexico, and they told me basically I couldn't because I'm a foreigner. They don't allow anybody outside of Mexico to buy. Same thing in Thailand. I wanted to open a nice disco bar, like something fun, something slightly outdoorsy with pool tables and stuff. And I was looking at it. I really got serious about it. Then I found out that I couldn't own anything in Thailand. I couldn't own anything. They wouldn't allow me to own anything in the country. So that's protecting their sovereignty, and they're protecting their way of life, so they don't lose that, right? Now, free markets. Go watch my free market videos and see what I'm talking about, on how I get in depth with it and just kind of rant about it, because it's very unfair how some countries basically don't want you. They want you to go there, spend money, and leave, but they don't want you to stick around. So let me know what you guys think on this topic. I already, this is something I've been talking about for 3 years, and I really wanted to bring it up again. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. And the Vancouver brain drain, it's for real, people. I spoke to another employer. Oh God, hold on. Today is Sunday. I talked to him on Friday, actually, over the phone. Surprised he called me, and he employs just over 100 people. And he's looking to relocate out to Chilliwack. Yeah, Chilliwack. And he's having a really hard time. He needs staff, and he's having a really hard time finding qualified people. He receives anywhere from like 300 to 400 resumes per week. Nobody qualifies for what. All the people that qualify, that do send resumes, live out either in Chilliwack, Hope, Langley, out that way. So let me know what you guys think. Comment below.